Hey HCG family, it's me, Miss HCGGirl, and I'm checking in for another day on Phase 3, Phase 4 of the HCG protocol. And today I have a recipe called MsHcGGirl's Mexican Quiche. This is a two-part recipe. I want to tell you up front, it's very high fat. It's almost 500 calories for a slice of this, but it is delicious. So what I want to tell you is I'm going to make a P3 friendly crust, and if you don't want this crust in your quiche, then you're going to have to skip over, and I will have a little notation as to where you can skip over in a minute so that you can just do the quiche part. But right now I'm going to teach you how to do a gluten-free, sugar-free, easy kind of crust for your quiche. And this quiche is going to serve 8 people. Okay guys, first thing I want you to do is set your oven to 375 degrees, and then I want you to go get these items and we're going to do this together. The first thing I want you to do is get you some salted butter. I'm using just a generic brand. I used a whole stick and I went ahead and I melted it in my microwave. Just go ahead and melt, it's 8 tablespoons if you don't know. Melt it in your microwave. The next thing you're going to need to do is get you some Splenda. Okay, I know that sounds bizarre because we're making a dinner, a meal, but get some Splenda, and I'm putting in 1/4 of a cup plus 1/2 of another 4. So it's 8. 1/4 plus an 8. Okay, so we're going to mix that in our butter. See what it does? It sort of gets sort of foamy, and you do this if you ever make Mama Clock's almond cookies. You're going to do the same thing, very similar. With the Splenda. Splenda mixes really well with something wet. The next thing I want you to do, you need some kind of bowl to put your, that you're making your crust with, and this is very simple, okay? Go ahead and get 1 cup of almond flour. This is, 1 cup of almond flour. You need 1/4 of a cup I'm using golden milled flaxseed. You can use regular flaxseed. Get that. I'm going to put 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. This is going in the crust. 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. 1/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. Actually, I'm using granulated garlic. 1/4 of a teaspoon of basil. 1/4 of a teaspoon of parsley. Sounds easy, right? 1/4 of a teaspoon of onion powder. Alright? So now what I want you to do is just mix these items up in the bowl before you add the butter mixture to it. And it's sort of like a savory crust. And if you weren't doing a dinner meal, you could use this crust. I make this crust all the time, a little differently, but I make it for chocolate cheesecake and lemon cheesecake. So you could do that. I did get the idea. I'm going to give him credit. Bo Wolf, I modified his recipe, and Bo Wolf is an Atkins guy on the internet, and hopefully this glove will work. But it's easy if you get you some rubber gloves. You don't have to have rubber gloves, but I have nails, and I really don't want to mess with the food. So I'm going to pour the butter mixture in the center of the flours here, and all I'm going to do is stir it up till it comes to like a ball. Okay, now you can see that it's sort of crumbly. That's perfect, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take this mixture and we're going to put it, forgive my clumsiness here, we're going to go ahead and put it in the bottom of, I have a 10-inch pie pan here, but you can use a 9-inch, you can use square, you can use a smaller one. I'm just here to tell you, when you make this quiche, it makes a lot. So take that into consideration. And also the butter that's in this makes it very high fat, and what I do on the days that I eat this meal is I turn them on. Okay, in the magic of This Is Not Food Network, our other camera battery died. So now we're using my husband's camera. So we're going to get back on the pie. I went ahead and finished flattening it out, and as you can see, I just pressed against all the sides. This was very easy, okay? This is what the pie crust should look like before you stick it in the oven. So now we're going to stick this pie crust in the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. So put it in the center of your oven. You have to pre-cook this before you make your quiche. I'm going to check it at 10 minutes, and I'll be right back. Guess what? Our crust is done. So as you can see, oh, it's beautiful. I want to show you this, okay? This is our crust, and it's all browned, and it's cooked. And so now we're just going to set it on the side, and we want it to cool while we're making the body of the quiche, okay? So in the meantime, what I want you to do is lower your oven. Come over here and lower your oven to 350, okay? That's what we're going to cook the inside of the quiche on. In the meantime, I want you to go get all of these ingredients. And it seems like a lot of ingredients, but
Hi guys, I'm back, and guess what? What I want you to go get is some red, orange, yellow bell peppers. They're sweet peppers. Go ahead and slice them up. I sliced one of each, and this is what I have here on this cutting board. I took a yellow onion and I sliced it to where we're going to see circles here when we put it on the grill. And then I weighed out 8 ounces of John Soul's chicken fajita meat. I don't know if you can see that, but it's very low in calorie. I get away with this on P3. I got this tip from the besties, Joni and Jana. Hey guys. They use it on P2 and get away with it. But anyway, I love this meat. So you want to weigh out 8 ounces of that meat. 3 ounces is like 100 calories or 110 calories. So anyway, we're going to go to the grill, and we need some coconut oil, or you can use any other kind of oil you have, but I'm going to use coconut oil, and I'm going to use probably a couple of tablespoons to fry up my onions, my bell pepper, and my John Soul's chicken fajita meat, okay? I'm going to have to use my finger here to get this going. So we're going to put the meat on here, and we want to just brown the meat, and we want to brown the onions really well before we put it in the quiche. This is the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way. You can also, if you don't want to do it this way, you can go ahead and put them in raw. I personally like my onions browned. I like the flavor. It caramelizes them. And then also with the bell peppers, they are delicious. Just throw them on there too. We're going to soften all of this. It's going to take about 5 or 10 minutes to soften all these vegetables. And when they're softened, I'm going to put them in the bowl here. And and another tip, when you're using John Soul's fajita meat, once it starts to get going here, frying, what I do is, even when I'm making my tortillas for my quesadillas, I take this Braggs Liquid Aminos. You can buy it in a pump bottle, and I'm going to tell you, this stuff is so good if you guys haven't figured this one out. And just spray it on your fajita meat while it's cooking, and it is delicious. You can sprinkle a little bit of salt at this point and a little bit of pepper on your meat while it's cooking. And it seems like a lot of peppers, but they really, the water comes sort of out of them, and they sort of get very softened. So if you don't want this many peppers in your quiche, or you don't like peppers, you can also use spinach or broccoli or something like that. But normally when I make a quesadilla for myself, I don't use this amount of peppers. This is for 8 people right here. But I normally use the equivalent to about a cup when I make a tortilla. And I use about a half an onion for one quesadilla. It is so good, you guys. Guess what? My onions are browned. My chicken fajita meat, I went ahead and used the end of my spatula here, and I broke each piece of meat up so that it was in small bite-sized pieces that's going in our quiche. So now we're just going to move all of this to a bowl, all the peppers have sort of melted down. They're not as heavy. They've lost some of their water, and that's what we wanted. So right now, we're basically going to get everything off the grill, put it in this bowl. And we need this to cool down for a few minutes while we go make the egg mixture, okay? This seems like a lot of work, but if you're looking to do something special, and the day I made this, one of my good friends here, Donna, who has 2 autistic children, I made this special for her. She came over. We had brunch once a week, hot tea time too. It's a lot of fun. But I made this for her, and she loved it. So I hope you love it too. Just move everything off the grill to your bowl, to some kind of bowl, and you want it to cool down for a minute or two, okay? Because you really don't want to put this in with hot eggs or it'll curdle. So let's just set this to the side next to our done crust here, okay? So now get yourself a bowl, and of course I have a big glass measuring bowl here. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to crack our eggs in the bowl. We need 3 eggs, 3 whole eggs, okay? Go get you that. Now mine's been sitting out, warming up just for this event. The chickens haven't hatched though. I think we're okay. So we have 3 eggs. Let me wash my hands here. Alright, 3 eggs. I want you to get some egg beaters. I want you to put a ½ cup of egg beaters in here. That's the equivalent of 2 more eggs. So that makes about 5 eggs, okay? The next thing I want you to do, I'll reuse that, is get sour cream. Now I'm using full fat sour cream because when you're on P3 you can do high fat. So right now we're going to do that. And I'll put a ½ cup of sour cream in here, okay? In the egg mixture. This is so good. I promise you, if you try this, you're going to love it. Alright. Next thing I want you to do is get some heavy whipping cream, okay? We need a ½ cup of heavy whipping cream. So let's put that in our egg mixture. This is high in fat. And you'll understand when I tell you that you should keep your fats high that day, you're going to burn lots of calories. You should not be concerned if you keep your carbs low and your proteins low throughout the day. Just focus on high fats that day. You should be able to even drop weight the next day. Okay? Now, the last thing I want you to do is I took 2 ounces of Philadelphia cream cheese, full fat. I sort of softened it in the microwave, and what we're going to do is transfer that to our egg mixture, okay? So let's put that in the egg mixture. I know, Stepharou's probably saying, I need to get her some spatulas. Thanks for that tip, Steph. I do have some I bought, but I really don't like them, and so that's why I'm not using them. So anyway, in the meantime, I want you to whisk this really good together because you want all of these items really congealed before we pour it. And it's going to be very creamy, okay? Very, very, very creamy. Now, we're going to have to add some seasonings to this, too, right now, okay? First thing I want you to do is you're going to put 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper, okay? Just regular old black pepper. You're going to need a teaspoon of salt. I know that sounds like a lot, but this is what's going to season the whole quiche for everybody. 1 teaspoon, and I use iodized sea salt. Very good, loaded with minerals. Granulated garlic, folks. 1 teaspoon of granulated garlic. 1 teaspoon of basil. I love basil. B-A-S-I-L. 1 teaspoon of parsley. Any kind of parsley that you have, you can even use fresh. 1 teaspoon of onion powder, okay? And even though it says it's something from Walmart, I actually buy it at Sam's and I refill these containers. So, oh, and the other thing I want you to do is go ahead and put
1 tablespoon of Braggs Aminos in this liquid, okay? And whisk this up really well. Now, the next thing I'm going to have you do, get Mexican. Now listen, if you're on P3, folks, don't use this. Go ahead and get you some Monterey Jack or some Colby Jack that's in a block form and shred it yourself. I'm not on P3, I'm sort of on P4 for life, but you can use the block cheese and shred it. So you're going to need 1 cup and 1 cup and then some of this, okay? So, you know, if all you have is 8 ounces, you can make do with what you get. But what I'm going to show you is how I made it the very first time I made it, and then you can modify it if you want spicier, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, here's 1 cup. Alright, so you need 1 cup and 3/4 of Mexican cheese, okay? So you can do that with a block. It'll take more than a block. I think a block of cheese is like 8 ounces. So you may need 2 blocks of cheese and shred them. So this is finely shredded, so I'm putting that in there. I'm also putting 1/3 a cup of just mozzarella cheese. Now if you're on P3, you're going to have to grate your own mozzarella cheese because some of these come with starches in it. So I'm putting 1/3 a cup of mozzarella cheese, okay? So that would be like a block cut in 1/3 or something like that, all right? Now, I'm going to get my handy dandy rubber spatula here, mix everything together, make sure I didn't forget anything, and in the meantime, remember we set our oven to 350, right? So, our oven's to 350. We're going to take our cooled pie crust. This is totally cool. See how pretty it is? It's bubbled up and everything. This pie crust is delicious. Okay. Oh, the other thing I buy, I just want to share this with you guys, is I buy these sliced olives, and we're going to use 2 tablespoons of it, and we're going to go ahead and put that, and you want to drain them a little bit, and I'm just sort of making do. These are just sliced, ripened olives. They're like 25 calories for 2 tablespoons. So we're going to put that in our chicken mixture. We're going to take our whole chicken mixture right here, and we're going to go ahead and spread it in our pie pan. Okay? Just make sure you spread it really good. I don't know if you can see this, cameraman, but we're going to just spread out the chicken, the peppers, the olives, everything. And look how beautiful the color is of this. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to pour your cheese, egg, milk mixture over this whole thing, okay? So right now we're going to pour this over this mixture. And like I said, I have a 10-inch pie pan. You could use probably a 9x9 square pan. You could probably use a 9x13 for this, okay? This is going to take a while in the oven. So anyway, just spread it around in your pie pan, all right? If you're concerned about this bubbling over any way, shape, or form, I'm going to go ahead and put mine on a baking sheet, okay? I've got a baking sheet here. So I'm going to put it in the center of the oven on a baking sheet, and we're going to go ahead and put that in right now. All right, now you see what this looks like? This is what it looks like before it goes in the oven. It's very wet, and it's going to sit there, and we're going to go ahead and put our timer. I'm going to put it on 40 minutes, but I have a feeling it may take longer than that. We're going to check it at 40 minutes, and I will be back, and I will let you see the finished product. And it's done when you stick a fork or a knife in the middle and there's nothing wet that comes out. You can tell that it's set. And most people let their quiche cool before they serve it. And this is going to be cut into 8 slices. And I'll have all the nutrition facts at the bottom, the fat grams, the protein, everything. So I'll be back. Hey guys, it's been about an hour, and as you can see, I'm getting ready to take the quiche out of the oven, and I'm going to check it on top of the stove before I put it back in, because sometimes ovens vary, and even some days. I checked it a while ago, and my knife was a little wet, so I want to make sure when I stick it in that the egg mixture is cooked, and it looks like it's going to set up fine. So it came out pretty good. We're going to set this to the side and set it on a cooling trivet and let it cool for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to cut it and let you look at it when it's cool. But it looks pretty good at this point. I don't know if you can see it, how pretty this looks, but it's gorgeous, and it's going to feed 8 people. It's some pretty good sized pieces. It's a dinner piece. So I'll be back in about 30 minutes. Hey guys, my pie has been sitting here cooling, and as you can see, it is absolutely beautiful. The cheese has melted, the eggs have cooked. We're going to take out a piece. I've cut it across, and then I've cut it again, each one in half, and so we have 8 perfectly triangular pieces. So we're going to take a piece out right now, and I'm using just a little rice thing, but you can use a pie, whatever it is to get out pie. And as you can see, this is amazing. You can see the peppers, you can see a little bit of the olive, you can see the chicken in there, and the egg mixture. It's all cooked and congealed. And I'm going to taste a bite to see how it tastes. You may have to add salt or pepper at this point, okay? But it's very yummy. It is very good, okay? I think you can use probably less of the peppers. You can do half a pepper of each color. I think I put way too many peppers in this time. And but everything else is perfect. And also I wanted to add, I didn't add any jalapenos or anything like that, but you can sub out pepper jack cheese for any of this cheese in here. I actually watched a cooking vlog by a girl, and she took you know how you can get the pepper jack cheese in Sargento, and it's perfect for P3. Instead of adding cheese inside the mixture, she just spread pepper jack slices all over the top. And I wanted to share my inspiration. My family, once a week, we have these tortilla quesadillas, and we use the low-carb tortillas. And the majority of what's in here I make for my quesadilla. I had made it for my girlfriend. We have a brunch once a week, and last week, I wanted to do something different and special for her, and she is a special somebody. Her name is Donna, and I'm going to say hi to her. And anyway, I wanted to do something special and make something ahead of time, and I made this the day before, and it turned out fantastic, and she absolutely loved it, and I hope you love it. So I'm just going to call it MsHcGGirl's Mexican Quiche. And let me know if you make it and if you like it, and you can critique it. I just want to give you guys a lot of love. Thank you so much for following me in my journey. I'm going to say good night. Peace. And the nutrition factor underneath. Out.